Nice to have you with us. I'm Art Lewis. Later on after the 10 o'clock news, we'll have open phones for the hour. At 11 o'clock, we will learn more about the Labadee Rib Fest coming up to Bay City later this week. And I think Jay Sanborn will be chatting with us this morning. But for this hour, we're going to spend some time talking with a colleague who I have a great deal of respect for, even though he's too young to know much of anything. But
That's fair.
He is the one and only Jonathan Dent.
Good morning.
Jonathan, good morning. Jonathan is here. We're going to talk about a number of things, but we're going to start out because Jonathan, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are a gamer.
Yeah.
You spend time with the computer and gaming.
Yep.
And there is a movement afoot, particularly in Europe right now, that has to do with companies that create these games, sell these games, and then take the games away from you.
Yeah. It's called the Stop Killing Games Initiative. I think it's interesting. I'm not necessarily totally in agreement with it or totally opposed to it like a lot of people are, but it opens up some interesting conversations about consumer protection in online spaces.
So, you buy a game, and they cost what? If you go out and buy a game
anywhere
on
from
your computer,
$20 to $80 is kind of standard.
So you put your money down.
Yep.
And you expect you own that game.
That's kind of the expectation. And the way things are done nowadays, you don't go to the store and buy a disc or anything.
It's all online.
It's an online marketplace, and it's all downloaded.
So, in fact, though, if I could use a comparison or a similarity, it's more like leasing than it is buying.
Yeah. So the way it actually behind the scenes works, you think I'm buying this game, I have it, I can play it.
It's on my computer.
50 years from now, I'll be able to play it.
Right. Not so much.
Kind of what's going on, though, is more and more game developers and publishers are requiring access to their servers and their infrastructure in order to play these games.
That's where the game's housed.
And then when they decide it's not worth it to run that infrastructure anymore, they shut it down and you can't access it anymore.
So you can't play the game that you bought.
That you spent $80 on sometimes, and often there's follow-up updates and things that you pay for.
I wonder if they do that because they need the server space, or because here's why I say that. Let's take Microsoft, for example, all right? Let's take Windows 10, for example.
Yeah.
They're going to stop supporting Windows 10 come the fall. Sometime in the fall, the support for Windows 10 goes away. But Windows 10 does not go away.
Correct.
You can use it forever if you want to take the risks of security and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
but
they're
the
just
fact
going to
is,
stop
it's yours.
updating. Yeah.
They're just going to stop updating. The gamers don't do that. They stop supporting it. They stop the game. And then you're out, whatever you spent for it.
Yeah.
Never to play it again.
Exactly. So kind of what's been going on, and this started with I hadn't even heard of this game. It's called The Crew. It was released in 2014, and basically last year the publisher said, "Yep, we're stopping support for it. We're shutting down the infrastructure." And a couple of the people that really liked the game really didn't like that, so they started putting together petitions and things and making noise online to try and pressure.
And as I understand it, most of this is happening in the UK.
Yes, most of it's in the UK. In Europe, I believe the most recent thing was a week and a half ago. They got a petition together to put something before the EU as a body.
And there is a consumer protection body as part of the EU. I forgot its name. I have it here someplace.
I don't remember either. But yeah.
They do have an organization over there that allows them to seek action against the companies. I'm looking to see where it is here.
Consumer Rights and Complaints to the European Commission.
There you go.
Yep.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
So, any noise in this country about it?
Not really. I've heard of a law in California, but I'm not sure when that got passed. Basically, it is the thing. it's interesting because there's two ways to look at it legally. One is, are you advertising it as a purchase or as a rent or lease? So I think the law in California addresses it from the advertising perspective of, okay, you can't call it purchasing the game anymore.
Yeah.
And from buying it from a platform. But kind of what gamers want, what the push is okay, if you release a game and you require this online connection, you should be required to also include a single-player version that when you download it, you've got that game and you can still play it, even if it's kind of a lesser version.
Yeah, right. So, question. How many of these game developers are in the United States?
Oh, that's a good question. Many.
There are. Okay.
A lot of the bigger ones when it comes to
so we are ahead of that game then.
Yeah, there's obviously Japan is huge.
See, I would have thought Japan right away and China.
And in Europe, there's quite a few, especially Scandinavia. They've got a ton of smaller game developers, but pretty good ones.
The reason I ask is, who comes under our laws?
Yeah.
And there's multiple laws here. We're talking about laws that might affect the developer and what they can do and can't do. And then there's consumer protection laws, which are on the sales or lease side of it.
Yeah.
To protect the consumer. And what are they subject to? Well, obviously, if they're selling in this country, they should be subjected to our consumer protection laws. If they're developing in this country, then that's a whole other story. They should be subject to our developer laws. If they're developing in another country, do we have a say? Probably have a say on the sales side, but not on the development side.
Probably. That would be my analysis too. The other interesting thing is China's a big name in this in this game as well.
Yeah.
So, and their laws and the way they work is a lot different.
They don't really care.
No.
that's the problem.
Kind of the place that gets me is this isn't just about games though. This isn't just the video game world. If you go to Amazon and you quote unquote buy a movie that you watch only online, you don't buy the actual disc from them, it's kind of the same thing. You have it as long as they're willing to support you having it for whatever reason.
Yeah, but I don't think that because once you buy the movie, there's no further development of the movie. I mean, it's
Correct.
just it occupies space on a server.
Yeah, but
and their data farms are huge. It's so I suspect, and I don't know this for a fact, but I suspect that some of these developers, particularly the smaller developers, only have so much server space. And when their servers begin to push the end, they look for avenues to develop new space. So one of those avenues is to clear out very old programming. I mean, it happens in your computer. When your computer fills up, you got to do something.
yeah,
So you either store it outside or you eliminate things.
a lot of the noise is being made around some of the larger developers that are doing this, though. So the game that started the whole thing, The Crew, was published by Ubisoft, which is one of the biggest names in game development for years.
They ought to have enough space.
And they should be able to do that, but it's where they start trying to cut costs here and there to keep themselves profitable, and it ends up possibly hurting the consumer. In my experience, the smaller developers don't require you to have that internet access. They just make the game, and then you download it, and then you play it. That's in my experience. That's kind of anecdotal.
Well, but that's the equivalent of Microsoft learning how to get money out of you for their Office products.
100%, yeah. Yep.
Used to be you could buy the disc, it was yours. If you didn't want to update it, don't update it. If Word is still Word, it still works. And then all of a sudden they discovered, hey, we can rent this rather than sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you're paying every year.
Exactly.
So, how to get money out of our pockets. We'll be back. We're talking to Jonathan Dent. Hey, if you're a gamer and you've had experience with some of these things, give us a call, 989-752-6111. We will be back.
In an emergency, when...
Hi, welcome back to the Art Lewis Show for this Monday morning, and it happens to be the 21st of July. I don't know where the first 3 weeks of the month went, but they're gone. We're talking to Jonathan Dent. There is a movement in Europe, and it has to do with gaming online, and it's called Stop Killing Games, where the developers of the games, after a number of years, stop supporting them. But not only do they stop supporting them, you can't play them anymore because they take them off their servers. What games? Give me an idea of the games we're talking about. And I ask that from a standpoint of ignorance. I'm not a gamer. I'm a sim player. My new computer, I have virtual reality, and I'm setting it up now to be able to fly virtual reality with Microsoft Flight Sim.
Sweet.
But that's as far as I get. I don't do gaming. What games are we talking about? If you tell me the ones that are the most popular. Let's start with that.
For like just what people are doing. World of Warcraft's been at the top for a while. League of Legends is huge.
Heard of that one?
Dota 2 is big. They're called MOBAs.
I think a lot of these games, these are the ones played by esports, aren't they?
Yes.
Many of them.
Yep. And then there's like the sports games. That's another thing when you're talking about consumer protection stuff. You talk about FIFA, Madden.
Well, they're all franchised.
Franchise stuff like that, and they come out with a new game every single year, and the old one is just, yeah. I don't know. What are some of the biggest games right now?
Call of Duty, is that old?
Yeah, Call of Duty is still pretty big. They're coming out with new ones all the time. Counter-Strike. Oh, I forgot about Counter-Strike. Used to be called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Now it's Counter-Strike 2.
Are all these? It seems there's a theme to all these games. They all seem to be based on war.
Yeah.
And shooting people.
It's yes, especially when you're playing against other people, like that conflict and that kind of thing is huge. That's what kind of drives a lot of the gaming loop, I guess. And there's issues with that, especially when you're talking about kids gaming. But ultimately, I think that comes down to the parents. What I've been into, and that's the other thing, is some of them are more graphic and more explicit about it than others. I've been playing with my friends a game called Overwatch recently. Just been getting really into that and a little too competitive about it, probably. But it's not one of those games where there's blood and gore everywhere. It's kind of a cartoony,
little lighter.
It's a little lighter, but it's still like us 5 versus you 5. We're gonna pound each other until one of us wins. Yeah.
Now, do you have to play this with your friends, or you just go online and there's a community?
You just go online. Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that play Overwatch. And that's most games, is you can play it alone. More fun with friends. That's just the case. So the majority of the group that I've been playing with recently, and that's the other thing about online friend groups, is they kind of mix and match. But most of who I've been playing with recently is either here in Michigan or in the UK. People that I know in real life, or a group in the UK that I play with a lot.
How much time do you, I have to ask this, how much time do you spend on it? Average day.
Average day, probably about 2 hours.
Every day?
Not every day. Some days I'm too busy or just not feeling it, or, friends aren't around, so it's not as fun. Yeah, it's just a fun thing to do in the free time.
And what do you need in the way of hardware? How fancy a computer do you have to play the game well?
That's getting up there. Okay.
Yeah, since I just bought one recently, I know that.
Yeah. I've had the same computer since 2015.
So you're old school right now. It's 10 years old.
But
that's old tech.
I've replaced most of the components in it.
Oh, okay. So you've updated it.
So it's been slowly, just gradually pieced up.
I reached a point with my old computer where I couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm getting there.
So I bought what I thought was an excellent gaming computer till I looked at some of the other ones. Mine was in the neighborhood of, I don't know, $1,700 or $1,800. Then I found out there's $3,000 and $4,000 computers, which I don't need. But mine it's got water cooled or liquid cooled processor and all that stuff.
Yep.
But the big thing is in the graphics card and the ability to run a big graphics card.
Yes and no. There's some different approaches, and I don't want to nerd out too hard about that, but I would much rather have spend more money on a CPU than I would spend more money on a graphics card.
Yeah, but if you got a good CPU and you want to spend the money on the graphics card.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So.
But yeah, you don't. I bought my sister a gaming computer and went through the whole finding a good one a couple years ago, and you don't need to spend that much money to get something that'll work for pretty much anything they're coming out with nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, it's too fancy. It's got all these RGB color graphic circles and things light up, and it does.
I can't stand those, but you can't get a computer nowadays that doesn't have
it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it.
Yeah.
It's got a glass side on the case to make sure you can see it all.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like that, because when it breaks, you go, "Oh, it's broken." No, it should just be a box that sits there and does its thing. Is kind of my philosophy about it, and it draws power. You don't need that.
Yeah.
But
so, let's get back to the Stop Killing Games. Where does it go from here? What do you expect to happen in the EU? Do you expect they're going to come out with laws?
You asked me, Jonathan Dent, about if the government's going to succeed at something. No, it's not.
Well, it's not our government.
That's true. That's true. They're a bit more prone to being consumer protective over there. And I don't necessarily think it's necessarily a good thing, especially the way they might go about it. But it's possible something will come out of it. Likely, there will just be something else in the terms of service that you agree to.
Here's the problem. Let's see what you think of this. The problem is it comes down to the player. Here's what I mean by that. If the players didn't buy the games, the developers would take notice.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, the developers have you hooked. It's almost like an addiction to some.
To some, yeah.
And consequently, they've got you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot of backlash that's been coming up over the last few years about the attitude of publishers, not developers. There's a difference between a game developer and a game publisher.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
But about publishers trying to squeeze every last dollar out of the consumer that they can. I'll just give you a quick example. One of the series that
Why would that be a surprise?
Because of the way they're doing it. So there's a game coming out in the next couple of years sometime, and they're already selling the ultimate package, which is like $150 or something crazy like that. But in fine print in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see the ultimate package does not include the actual game.
In other words,
yeah,
you're buying space.
Yeah, you're buying doodads that go along with it, but expecting that the game will come with that. No, you got to spend another $60 on that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We're talking to Jonathan Dent. We'll talk about some other things, too, when we come back.
The time has come to ask attorney
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Jonathan Dent, just to finish up on this gaming topic. Since so much of it's going on in the UK, they have petition drives going, right? If they get like 100,000 signatures, they can take it before this EU commission. And
yeah. I don't think there are any petition drives active right now, but there was, last couple months, there have been a series of big drives in the online space that have been making noise with this initiative. But I don't know. I think they're waiting to see what comes out of this one before they push anything else.
Have some of the big games been pulled?
No, they're not pulling anything. Not until they absolutely have to. And like I said, I don't think if anything does come out of it, I think it'll just be another clause that's added to that big terms of service that you click agree to and don't actually read.
Yeah, right.
That's what I kind of expect to come out of this.
Right. And $20 to $80 to buy into a game.
Yeah.
Is that renewable every year, or is that a one-time?
So for most things like what we're talking about, from these big publishers, you're paying an initial price based on the size of the game. And then as they continue to update, some of those updates are locked behind more paywalls. So, well, if you want to access this new content, you got to pay an extra $15-20. And they'll do 3 or 4 of those over the course of a game's lifetime sometimes. And then
And what does that do?
it.
Just build in new scenarios within the game, or?
Yeah, just different different content within the game, I guess. If you're playing something that's more story-based, there might be some additional story elements to it. If you're doing something that is more competitive, there might be different, I don't know, weapons or different abilities locked behind, it's called DLC, locked behind extra payments, basically. Yeah.
I'll leave it to you.
Yeah.
What's
interesting.
your favorite game?
My favorite game of all time is a super niche. It's a dead game. It was a dead game 2 months after it came out, but it's the most fun I ever had playing a game. And it was called Black Wake.
Black Wake.
Black Wake. And
When you say it's dead, you mean they pulled it? It died, or what?
I mean, it had 2 months of people actually playing it, and now there's 50 people in Germany that play it regularly, and that's
it's
it.
still around?
It still exists, but their entire player base is there used to be hundreds of thousands of people playing, and now there's 50.
So what happens in a game that people say, we're done? Why do hundreds of thousands of people quit a game?
They get tired of it. The hype dies down around it. Think of like the news cycle. A big story comes out and it's the top of it's headline news, and everybody's eating it up and everybody's talking about it and everybody's interested in, oh, what's your opinion on this? What's your take on this? And slowly it just dies out and then you forget about it. That's kind of how the gaming world works in a way.
But some games survive
Yeah.
with huge audiences and never lose them.
Well, think of Donald Trump. He's in the news all the time. No, but yeah, some stay in there. They've got consistent updates and they become big things. And a lot of that has to do with the professional scenes that they cultivate, because that keeps them relevant in a way.
Okay. So, how many games do you own? How many games do you play?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
How many games do you own? I don't know.
Well, you don't own any. How many do you lease?
How many do I lease? Yeah. No, dozens. On my Steam account is the platform that I normally use.
I have Steam for train sim and some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Steam is what? A distributor, in effect. They don't
Kind of.
develop, do they? No.
They do
Well, I
develop
guess
some
they
things.
do have some things.
Yeah, they've got a game called
They have a huge store. I mean, there's stuff in there that I know.
yeah.
There's all kinds of things.
So when you think of people that are platforms for games, you talk about Xbox, PlayStation, and when you talk about computers, you're talking about Steam. And then they've had a few
I
competitors.
never thought of it that way, but I'm on Steam.
Yeah. Yep. That's just the program that everybody uses to run their games.
And they're not here either. They're overseas. They're in England or someplace. I think
Are they?
I don't think they're in the U.S.
So they're owned by Valve, and Valve is U.S. based. They're in Bellevue, Washington.
Oh, okay. Good.
So yeah,
I feel better.
yeah, buying American, right? No, no.
Leasing America.
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah. All right. All right. We're going to take one more pause and come back and finish up with Jonathan this morning. Let me take a moment to talk about Quick Lane Freeland, right next to McDonald Ford. They're all on the same property, same company. It's been a tough year for people with allergies. If you have them, you know that. And Quick Lane in Freeland has an answer to keep you healthy while driving. This is a product called FrigiFresh. It's a hospital-grade disinfectant, and what it does is it cleans your car's air conditioning system. You want to know more about it? Listen to John from Quick Lane as he talks about Frigifresh.
Frigifresh. Hi.
Quick Lane in Freeland to get Frigifresh today. And listen, while you're there, maybe you're getting Frigifresh put in your car. Why don't you take a look at the exciting lineup of new Fords at McDonald Ford? They stand ready to put you in the car of your dreams today. Remember these two names, Quick Lane and McDonald Ford in Freeland. They stand together to serve all of your automotive needs.
Welcome to retirement. Now,
and welcome back. Final segment of this hour is Art Lewis Show with Jonathan Dent, our guest in the studio. We've been talking about gaming and stop killing the games, movement overseas. But I want to change the subject here in the last segment to sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking sports in a way, esports.
Yeah, I guess.
But let's talk physical sports. Let's talk a little spirit hockey.
Heck yeah.
Not
Can't wait.
Another month or so, camps will be open.
Yep. And then September 19th is the season opener, I think.
It's early, yeah.
Yeah, it's a road game in the Sioux.
Yep. So, what kind of season we going to have?
Art, I'm not an optimist, but I hope that I think we get Michael Misa back from the San Jose Sharks. I think he plays at least 2 games with them to start off the season, and then I think we'll get him back. I have no insider information or knowledge. This is all speculation. I just want to put that out there.
Well, it is until it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, period.
I don't know about Zane Parekh. It depends on what kind of year Calgary has to start things out.
Well, they either have to put him on the big team or they have to send him back.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no in between for him now. So
if we get both of them back, I think we're going to have a fun season. We're going to make it to at least round 2 of the playoffs again, much like we did last year. And we're going to do it with a bigger draft cupboard than
we have.
What we had last
that's
year.
True. But goalie is the question.
Goalie is the question.
As it always is.
Well, we didn't have to worry about it for a while there.
Well, that's true. But that's true.
Andrew Oak, Nolan Lalonde, and before that, Tristan Lennox was pretty good.
Yep. Well, we've had some good ones.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Who's the new? What was the? We were talking about him off the air. The Russian import. What's his name?
Sorge.
Yeah.
Shurigan.
Right?
Something like that. Yeah. Supposed to be very good.
Hope so.
And he's played here. He's played in the country.
Has he?
I think he's. I
don't think I saw that.
I gotta check that. One of the imports has played for 3 years. I think here.
I think that was Nikita Klepov, the forward.
Could be. Tigers. How far are they going? He's hesitant.
Man, you're asking me now. I think they can make it all the way. Like,
I do too.
With the shenanigans that they pulled last season, and now they just look good. I think they can. They can pull it off. I don't follow baseball super closely, but they're hot.
Yeah, they are, and they just went through a cold spell. They lost 6, but that's going to happen.
They bought themselves that the right to do that.
Yeah, and then they won last night to break that.
Yep.
If they win some more, I mean, they're 20 over. Compared to what they've been in the past, and to see them where they are now, I credit A.J. Hinch for most of it. I mean, I just think the guy's a genius.
Oh, absolutely.
And the front office has done well in stocking the minor league system. I have been a true believer in minor league systems in baseball. I grew up a long time ago when the Yankees were dominant in baseball.
Yeah.
And it was all because of their farm system, because they could keep bringing them up. Somebody gets injured, they bring up the next superstar. And it's just one after another.